Merry meet and fare thee well. Settle in for a story time with me, Astin Gaël. Thank you for being here today. This is your daily collective message for Tuesday, February the 17th. If you would like to purchase a personalized short story, you may do so in the links down below. Also, if you are not following Four Isles Magic Shop on Blue Sky, you can also find that link in the description box down below. There are several additional posts that show up on Blue Sky that do not get cross-posted to YouTube. Sometimes it's a random thought that comes through first thing in the morning. Sometimes it's a channeled song that comes through in the middle of the afternoon. But most assuredly, if you enjoy knowing where the astrological placements are every day, that is over there. Okay. Moving right along in our What There Is to Love About a Man book, we are reading an excerpt a day until there are no more excerpts, and we are basing the short story off of the word that the excerpt is written about. Today, we are looking at promises. Yes, I'll be there. Promptly at 8. I promise. I will definitely remember to have the kids bathed and dressed in time for the wedding. It's a promise. I promise never to be unfaithful. I promise we'll be together always. Just like I promised, the game will be over and the guys will be gone before your book club arrives. Of course I'll vacuum. Promise. I'll call as soon as I get off the phone. I won't let Mikey do anything crazy to his hair or his belly button. I will never, ever consider doing anything sexual without protection. Cross my heart and hope to die. Nothing moves forward without your approval, and you have my word on it. We don't need anything in writing. We'll each promise always to be able to sit down and discuss things calmly. Promise me, you'll find someone new after I'm gone. Didn't we promise we would take turns cleaning the toilet? I never promised that. I only promised that I would consider it. Let's promise never to sell the silver, no matter what. Remember when we promised never to make promises? I just broke my promise, so promise me you'll break yours. Promise? And the award for the most promises in one paragraph goes to, you ever say a word so many times that you think that maybe it doesn't even sound like a word anymore? Because that's the vibe that I got. And that's kind of the vibe that I get from people who overuse promises. It's like, you are putting out so many assurances that I'm no longer sure of you at all. I got the notion from somebody one time that someone needing reassurance makes them undesirable. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because after coming out of so many toxic relationships, I needed a lot of reassurance, and my current life partner has offered that to me. And because he offered that to me so much in the beginning, I no longer really need it at all. To the point that I think I rub some people the wrong way, because I won't accept their assurances. I won't accept compliments from certain people. I won't accept niceties or pleasantries from certain people because they are the types that it feels like they make a lot of promises and they're never kept. They don't intend on keeping them. And it's really apparent. But people who use that word or that notion, the concept of promising, and they use it very liberally, you can tell that it's something that really means something. It is of value. The last couple of short stories have kind of focused on some negative, so I am going to go into this thinking about the type of person who actually means what they say when they say, I promise. We're going to start with the deck of Plenty, which has lyrics and writing prompts. People who mean what they say when they say, I promise. Well, we desire people like this, don't we? We desire relationships with people who mean what they say. I mean, okay, so thinking about when I first got together with my current partner and I needed a lot of reassurance, I was craving acceptance, really, is what it comes down to. I was craving love, or what I perceived as love. And for me, that was full acceptance of who I was. Middle of the night nightmares that result in a couple of hours of needing to soothe me back to sleep and all. I needed someone who that didn't bother, um, frustrate, and disturb. Um, and I knew that it disturbed him. How can it not disturb somebody being woken up in the middle of the night by a shriek or a scream? But I needed somebody that wasn't going to hold it against me. But if I kept craving acceptance from somebody outside of myself forever, I can see how that would have resulted in him needing to walk away. Buddha says that it is craving that keeps us stuck in a perpetual death rebirth cycle. That when we eliminate our cravings for sex, the will to live, wealth, and power, we can break out of samsara. We no longer have to, quote unquote, come back to this earthly realm ever again. I've heard some readers and spiritualists refer to this as Earth School, as if this is where our souls embody when we need to learn lessons. And I suppose that insinuates that there's a place free of lessons, a place where our souls can simply exist, be at peace. That's nice. I don't know if I believe that, but that's a nice thought. How does one eliminate that? Um, I would assume it would be to keep people around that make fewer promises and keep those promises. People who abuse the word promise, to keep you reeled in, keep you craving. Their promise of acceptance, their promise of love keeps you craving their love, because it's always a promise, but it's never actually a thing that you are shown. Valhalla is known as the warrior's heaven, I suppose. It is a hall, quote unquote, a great hall. The Norse Vikings met in great halls after battle, every night for dinner, etc. This is a hall belonging to the Allfather Odin that warriors get to go to after dying in battle in the fight for justice. I did a study on the word justice not too long ago, and according to Socrates and Plato, and Aristotle, the original writers of these virtues, justice is much like the samsara in Buddhism. It is breaking free from the karma that one has racked up in life. I don't like to introject my own ego into these stories anymore, but I'm going to use an example from my own life over the last couple of years. I have been going through the process of breaking away from people that I made promises to, essentially to be in their lives forever. I was married to them. I gave birth to them. In a sense, I promised to be around always. I broke that promise and had to make it known that I was going to not keep that promise. And my desires, my cravings were used against me in an attempt to keep me bound, to bring me back to the promise. I had to change my desires. What my desires were, I'm not exactly for sure. I can't exactly pinpoint any specific desires, but partying was definitely one of them. And emotional ties was another one. I'm not going to say that I chose to be a romantic, to break away from samsara, but in realizing that romance was keeping me in a cycle that I no longer wanted to be a part of, it became natural to be a romantic. I no longer felt the need to be seen as loving or have people be loving towards me. If it happens, it's nice, obviously. I think I think we can all agree that it's nice to be loved and to be seen as loving. But when you need that, it can be used against you. Yeah, the same old energy. Same old energy, baby. History repeats. Same old energy, baby. They'll march you through the streets. Same old energy. They fear what they don't know. Same old energy. You've burned this way before. I had to realize that this was going to be something that kept repeating over and over and over again until I changed the narrative. So, how are you changing your narrative today? What story are you writing from this point on? Are you writing the story of the guy meets the girl and they fly away to Venice and they fall in love and they come back and they live happily ever after? Hallmark has written that story and posted that movie over and over and over again. We've all seen it. You have the opportunity to rewrite that story. It does not have to be your story. If you want that to be your story, that's great. But that story has a lot of addiction in it. Addiction to people, addiction to love, addiction to sex, addiction to drama. I want to say that there is an opportunity coming that could get you out of your comfort zone quite a bit. A dance class. Weirdly enough, images of me attending weekly Zumba are coming through. I did this in a small town when I very first had kids. Uh, I needed a way to escape the monotony of just daily life being somebody's wife and somebody's mother, and one night a week getting together with other people's wives and mothers, and shaking our hips. That was a way of release. This could be an opportunity like that, where it's just like a group of people gathering for, exercise in the form of dance. This could be something more. This could be like a salsa class that you find online, and it ends up taking you to Spain. You know, um, this could be meeting a dance partner and starting to go out on dates. This could be just you teaching yourself some dance moves in your living room. But there's something about dance that is very healing. It's somatic therapy. It's letting the body release things that has been release feelings that have been trapped in there for years, feelings that are keeping you stuck in these craving cycles. Okay. Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. There's the potential for this to be some sort of new spark, a new idea that could lead you to a state of independence financially. Um, maybe you start your own dance company. I don't know. But it's not just a profitable thing. This is a project that helps you heal, and in healing yourself, you have the opportunity to heal others as well. Um, and in healing others, you continue healing yourself. It's like a healing cycle instead of the suffering cycle that is representative of the death, rebirth, samsara. we talked a little bit about that in another reading this week, that if you're gonna break out, if you're gonna make the tower be reversed, you have to find how this unhealthy desire has a equal and opposite healthy desire. So if you're trying to stop drinking, is there something that goes along with drinking alcohol that keeps you there? Is it something that you do in the company of A, B, and C person? Maybe we need to distance ourselves from A, B, and C person for a while. Is it something that you do every time you're sad? Maybe we need to discover how to make you happy. Is it something that you do because you've just always done it? Maybe it's just time to say, I'm capable of doing something new. And is it something that maybe just tastes good and you could just put something equally tasty in place of that drink so you don't go for that drink anymore? Yeah, there's like a whole list online somewhere in the interwebs of mocktails that, imitate cocktails. That way you're still getting the feeling of having a little fancy drink. Um, whether it be the bubbles, of the carbonation. When I was breaking myself of my soda addiction, I started drinking those carbonated waters, and then I ended up causing myself to have acid reflux issues, but it got me away from soda. And now I'm just happy with a big jug of water. Until next time, be well, be you.